I hope my wife isn't listening to the show for once because, yeah.
Big crush on this next
A
guest.
huge crush on
She's
this
gonna
next
run
guest,
away with him.
to the point where she was telling me about this guest before the team even told me that they'd reached out to him. So
She didn't even know we were having him on the show.
I've been pushing hard for this person not to be on the show.
Well, let me do.
I'm going to text her. I'm going to text her to tell her to listen
Start
right
listening.
now.
Oh,
We've
she
got some
knows.
time. As I start, do a little intro for this fella. So, Nathan, get the rebels ready for a former professional rugby league player turned unexpected literal heartthrob whose journey from the rough and tumble world of the NRL to the soulful pages of Book Talk has captivated thousands. Hailing from the sunburnt fields of rural Queensland, he first made his mark on the footy field with the Canberra Raiders before a career-ending injury nudged him towards new horizons. In 2023, he took to the screens and joined The Bachelors. He stole hearts with his down-to-earth demeanour and heartfelt gestures. But now he's swapping his boots for books and chainsaws for chapters. He now splits his time between working the land and sharing his love of reading with a devoted online community. Having just signed his own 2-book deal, please welcome to the show, Luke Bateman!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Lukey, thank you so much for being on the show. In real time right now, are you sitting in some sort of tractor or where are you? What are you doing?
This is it's a Tiger Cat 726G fella buncher.
I was going to guess that. Yeah.
This is where he does all his book talks from. This is where he asks for his
So
reg.
this is essentially the office, Luke, yeah?
This is the office, mate. Yeah, this is the office. So I'm just I'm probably about 2 hours northwest of Injune at the moment, which is about 3 hours north of Rome, mate, if you know where Rome is.
Right, yeah.
Rome was built in the day.
Lukey, thanks so much for being on the show, mate. First things first. So as I said before, my wife is obsessed with your journey in the book talk world because my wife puts away 150 books a year, right? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All of it is this fairy smut stuff, so much so, and I can't really talk because I'm into it. I'm
He's
really into
so
it.
into it, Luke.
I'm into my Throne of Glass. I'm moving into Agatha. I've done Fourth Wing. I've done all that gear, so I'm kind of just looking at a future me, really.
It's like looking in a
Lukey,
mirror.
Luke, how did you get into this? How did this whole thing start? Rough and tumble, rugby league country boy, all of a sudden you're into fairy smut, or as I call it, cliterature.
Oh mate, well I've read books my entire life, and I've always loved fantasy. Like even as a kid growing up, I think I always really enjoyed escapism, and I had a really vivid imagination as a kid, and anything that I sort of could pretend to be like a superhero, or anything like that, I always sort of took to. So I think I just progressed into high fantasy. So obviously books like Lord of the Rings, Magician, if you've ever read it, like that sort of ilk, and because I'm so remote, like I'm literally so isolated and remote at work, I just wanted to like nerd out with some people and talk books. And I was just like, I just want 5 people that I can nerd out with.
Yeah.
And my friend said to me, she said, "Oh, there's like this whole place on TikTok that's about books." And I was like, "Oh, that'll be awesome. Like I'll jump on there." And obviously just it took off from there. So it's been fantastic.
Have you had heaps of hot book nerds slide into the DMs?
I
Luke?
hope one of them's not my wife.
For the most part, like honestly, for the most part, I would say everyone that's sort of reached out to me, which there's obviously been a lot of. Everyone that's reached out to me has been genuinely just like book lovers and readers who want to talk about their books that they love and discuss them with me. So, which is exactly what I wanted. It's been really wholesome, actually.
Luke, I mean, I mentioned there in the intro the injury that stopped your career. Is that true, or did the rugby league community find out that you could read and they kicked you out?
Well, I never, mate. I was too scared or too ashamed to ever let the boys know that I was a friend. It definitely wasn't that.
Yeah. Wanted to play for the Dragons, now reading about them.
Dragons.
Luke, I wanted to talk about, the big thing with fairy smut, as they call it, or literature, is, the words that they use to describe intimate scenes. Now, I am loving watching your videos, and you literally go red in the face, and just your raw honesty being like, "Oh, like I was a bit hot under the collar," reading that stuff. How do you feel reading some of the words these authors have been using?
I will say I'm actually surprised at how much I like the smut scenes because I didn't think I'd take to them at all, and I can actually I get around them, but I do struggle with the verbiage of it because I'm sure that there are much more normal day-to-day words that can be used to describe these things. I'm certain of it. I'm certain.
What are some of your favourite phrases that you've read? Because for me, it's like I feel his full throbbing pressure until sweet release between me. It's one of my favourites from Throne of Glass. Is there one that stands out for you?
Mate, there's two. They in A Court of Thorns and Roses. She always says, "I've splintered," and I'm sort of like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't think that I've ever splintered myself or ever made anyone splinter. and the other one is sheathed his sword. And I have a real issue with that because I'm not sure that's the. I just don't know about that.
Yeah, you got an issue with that because yours is a dagger.
It's a butter knife. Receive my...
my blunt butter knife.
Well,
Lukey, what about I mentioned it, you signed a book deal. What, like, are you writing books? Like, what is that about?
Yeah, I actually started, I've had this idea in my head for, I would say 10 years now, but it's probably only really started to come into shape in the last 2 or 3. And I've always wanted to be an author. Like, growing up, it was always like a dream where you sort of like, when you're growing up, like, I want to be a movie star one day.
Yeah.
You know, it was sort of, I always just sort of thought, I'd love to be an author, but that'll never happen. But over the last couple of years, I've sort of really... Yeah, I've really gotten into it. And it's fun. I actually pitched to a publisher 6 months ago the idea, and they never got back to me. So that was a pretty hard pill to swallow. But and then I was with the book talk. I said, I said to my manager, I said, I really want to write this book. Like, I have this book idea, I really want to write it. So we reached out to a publisher again. I pitched it to them. They loved it, and and now my passion project has become, hopefully, a real career for me.
Amazing.
How much sword sheathing is there going to be?
No, there's no smut in this. No smut. No
All your
splintering.
female followers are going to be very upset by that.
Well, I would love to include splintering in the book, but I wouldn't know how to word it because I've never experienced it.
Just hit Nate's wife Meg up. She knows what
Don't hit
splintering's
my
all
wife
about.
up, whatever you do. Do not hit my wife up. I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Bateman. Look, the other thing I did want to ask as well, Lukey, and this was actually a suggestion from my wife. Have you ever thought about doing the voice of a book, like what's it called when
Audio
like
book.
an audio book? Because I just think having your voice over one of these books would be so fun, and I'd love to help facilitate it.
It's fun. A heap of females have been commenting on my TikToks being like, you should narrate. And I keep saying to them, I'm like, you do understand that my accent is Australian bogan.
That's why I love it.
I don't see the appeal. I'm not sure the Australian bogan accent is what sells as a narrator, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'd love. Maybe we set him at a microphone and we get him to voice. Get him to voice the book. Hey, Lukey Bateman, thank you so much, mate. This has been fantastic. We wish you all the best. Welcome on the show anytime to splinter any of us. So good on you, buddy.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.